Well, Sheikh Zakzaky, I am very happy to be talking to you and actually to see you again. Thank you so much for talking to us here at Press TV. And we appreciate it that you've chosen this network to give your first interview since being free. You know, there were times when you were incarcerated that we weren't sure if you would even survive. But alhamdulillah, we're so glad to see you today and that you're with us here today. I want to start this off by going back a little bit in time. When you were a university student, you were politically active. When did you establish the Islamic movement in Nigeria, and what motivated you to do so?
Well, it started when we were students in the university. In those days, there is a tendency to see one as progressive or enlightened or educated to be a communist. Communism was communist ideology was the order of the day. You know, it was attracting a lot of young people in the university in the late 70s when I was a student. I was a student in late 70s, 76 to 79. So one problem with the communists, even though they call for social justice, they also have problem with religion. They said that it is invented to, to control people. Like Karl Marx said, it is an opium of the people, And the biggest problem is they even declare openly that they don't believe in the existence of God. Alhamdulillah, I have a good background, Islamic background, even though I was studying economics in those days. But I have a good command of Arabic language, and I've studied Islamic studies also, and I'm a product of traditional Islamic institutions and also modern institutions, because the secondary school I have attended is called School for Arabic Studies. So we started to challenge those ideas they have against religion, and also show that their own ideas about social justice is also enshrined in Islamic teachings in the Quran. So that was it, how it started. We might call it ideological war in those days. And suddenly there was this appearance of uprising in Iran in 978, to be precise, when the Imam was in France. Right. And this, attracted our attention very much. So we must say that the movement started definitely, in those days, late 70s, when we were university students.
Well, you said there was a movement in Iran in 1978 and what had started right before the revolution. How did that relate to you all? Why did it affect you so much?
Well, we were calling for establishment of an Islamic system of governance in our society, just as the communists were also calling for establishment of communist system of governance. And the others, whom you call them anything, they prefer the status quo. So we found that there was an uprising somewhere calling to similar ideas, which culminated in a victory in the 1979 revolution. So we found that what we have been calling for has been, to actualize somewhere else. And that means it is possible also for it to materialize also in our own society. So even not only us, we were influenced by the Islamic Revolution in Iran. Even the communists were influenced by the Islamic Revolution in Iran. I can remember some communist students who actually showed solidarity with us. Even some of them are even dressing in big gowns and calling themselves Ayatollah. So there was the influence was tremendous, particularly when it was a victory against the Western capitalist ideology, which fought the Islamic Revolution. So the communists were attracted to it as well. And some of them even changed from communism to become Islamic activists, actually.
Right, right. Well, and then with the establishment, though, of the Islamic movement in Nigeria, and we look over the years, you've had many ups and downs. Overall, what was your overall goal in establishing? I mean, the Islamic movement of Nigeria is to do what? What's the goal?
Well, first of all, I have to make a clarification. We have never considered the word Islamic movement as an organization. We consider it as a concept, you know. We did not call ourselves Islamic movement. It was our activities which became known to be Islamic movement, because it was a move that Islam is, raising up to return to its own glorious days. Remember, there was establishment of an Islamic system about 100 years before the coming of the British colonialists here by Sheikh Osman Dampodio.
Yes.
100 years before they came, and then 100 years after them, after the coming of the British, that's about 200 years, we still have the urge to return back to what we have lost to the British. All right. So the call, got to be answered. It rang in the ears of the ordinary Muslim people because they understand us quickly. So we started at that time. We are Muslim students. We have a society called Muslim Student Society. Mm-hmm. I happen to be the Secretary General of the Muslim Student Society in our campus of the university, which is the largest campus in the country, in the largest university in the country, right. Then and even now. Then also I became the vice president in charge of international affairs in the national body of the same society. So our call started when we were students. It was never to be called Islamic movement then. In fact, the people were calling us students only. It was later in the 80s when we were no longer students, mm-hmm. the word Islamic movement came to surface. But we still insist that the Islamic movement is a concept, not organization. So we have Islamic movement in Nigeria, you have Islamic movement in Ghana, you have Islamic movement in Sierra Leone, you have Islamic movement everywhere. You have Islamic movement in Africa, you have Islamic movement all over the world. So the Islamic movement is a concept rather than name of our society.
Right. Well, now we look at the Islamic movement of Nigeria. There's so much negative propaganda about the movement inside the country. I mean, and even we saw that the government had banned certain activities of the group. Why is that the case? You're just saying that basically it's a concept. So why all of the negative propaganda and pressure?
Well, I know those in authority should answer this better than myself, but they will never be true to themselves. Sometimes they say in private, not in public, that they fear the Islamic movement, that it will return the country to the path of Islamic system, just as the revolution in Iran has taken place. Sometimes they even openly say it. That's their own fear. We alienate their fear by saying this: you have nothing to fear. You want democracy, isn't it? What is the meaning of democracy? It is a government of the people. I believe that if there will be a plebiscite in this country where people will be asked, which system would you like? Is it the status quo, which is the heritage of the British colonialists, or the Islamic system? Just cast vote on one of them. I'm sure a majority will choose Islamic system. I am sure. So that since you have nothing to fear, it will be the government of the people after all.
Do you think that will even be a possibility? You said the majority of the people would like that, and of course, that's the ultimate democracy. Is that a possibility?
Well, I don't think they will ever allow it, but when the time comes, like after the success of the revolution in Iran, people were given the chance to choose between monarchy and Islamic Republic, and they overwhelmingly voted for Islamic Republic.
Right.
That may come one day in this country as well, when the people will be given the choice to choose for themselves which system will they like, all right? And I'm sure that definitely they will choose the Islamic system.